Announcements. I was in such a sour mood yesterday, I almost just hid in the bathroom and watched an entire episode of Phineas and Ferb, and then I realized I would get in way more trouble, so I didn't do that, but I want it publicly known I was very tempted to.
We can watch Phineas and Ferb after the stream if you want.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
I want to watch it so bad. I have a little tiny touch of homework to do, but that's like it. Is the Foundry
Alright, so we can watch one episode. Yeah, the Foundry's open.
What do you mean we can watch one episode? They're 20 minutes long. Like, literally the only homework I have to do is I just have to make it so that the text just appears when you find the chest in my 3D landscape. That's it.
We can watch one episode, you do your homework, and then we can watch more.
I'm not even confident I can do it yet. I don't know how. I might have to call up Anna. Because I mostly have it working. I guess, no, actually it would take 7 years for the game to load, for my... Yeah, phone, you know what? I did all my achievements in Duolingo, like, fucking 7,000 hours ago. Yay, okay. How did we end last time?
That's a good question.
Yes, that's right, y'all.
Right, they're like, hey, we're gonna keep everyone on board until we figure out who did the murder.
Yes, and also, oh my god. Oh, okay, I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna watch that later. Microwave Society just uploaded a video, and it frightens me in the most amazing way possible.
Get off YouTube.
I'm getting the music, Devin. I'm not... The title is I Let You Decorate My Room, which implies that they're degenerate, brain-rotted fans like me bought shit for Jude's new house.
Oh boy. I don't know why, but recently I watched their videos on the Spy Kids movies.
Oh, those Spy Kids movies are so good. Their videos on them specifically. I've never actually watched any Spy Kids except 4, which is the worst one.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Watch 1 and 2. They're the better ones.
I've heard that...
Spy Kids 3 is mid.
Yeah, I've heard 1, 2 are good, 3 is mid, 4 is trash, and then I've heard 5 is actually also pretty good.
I've never watched it, so I don't know.
There's a 5th one?
Yeah, they just made a 5th one, like, 2 years ago, or something.
Yeah, it's not the same actors, obviously.
Yeah, it's not even the same characters. I don't even think they referenced Junie.
Again, I wouldn't know. I haven't watched it, and I don't want to.
I might. I don't know.
I want to keep the magic of 1 and 2 and a little bit of 3.
Fair.
I'm pretty sure when I was younger, we burned a VHS.
Well, that doesn't sound very
of Spike. Not burning
I know,
it. But like,
I know.
But we had a VHS and we just burned the data of the movie onto it.
Nice. Dude, I made the stupidest joke yesterday, and it made one of my coworkers laugh, and one of my coworkers very disappointed in me. There's an armory.
That's kind of joke.
There was an armory in Brantford, and we were driving past it for the billionth time, and Patrick says, "What do you think is inside the armory?" And I looked at him and I was like, "I don't know, probably armor."
Yep.
And he started, and of course Victoria starts laughing, and then he goes, "Oh, just armor, not weapons?" And I'm like, "No, it's not called a weaponry."
Oh my god.
Yeah, Victoria sounded roughly like Devin did. Meanwhile, Patrick was just smiling so disappointed at me.
Just like
It's
what Nai's doing now.
Yeah.
Exactly! It was quite amusing. I loved it so much.
Meanwhile, I'd probably make the same joke you made.
Oh, it was so fucking great. I've never been happier with a response to my joke in my life.
By the way, I'm still Varys.
Oh yeah! Well, now you don't exist.
Yay, I'm dead.
Boop. There we go.
Alright, Nai, roll up a new character.
Time to use one of my 4 that I have.
All of them would be cool. You should play as... Oh, shoot. Don't tell me I know the Roman numeral. It was something in the 20s.
Well, you just fucking ruined that one.
Sorry! I won't reveal anything else. I just think it's really cool.
Now he's not gonna play that character just to spite you.
I like that one. Okay, sorry. Okay. Yeah.
Liv, by the way.
Liv?
Yes,
What about Liv? Oh, Liv!
that's the name.
God damn!
Holy shit, Clover.
Wow!
Asmodai lives!
Welcome to D&D, everybody!
Oh, don't tell me the name. I know it. When I say it, what?
In my defense, I thought you wanted me to stop talking about it, so my brain moved on. Okay, so we can assume, since that happened in the evening, y'all either kept investigating at night or went to bed, and since only one of you has dark vision, I would say probably, you know, bed and also caboose.
Mm-hmm.
Which is to say, bye, Jeremy. Oh, God. Okay. So, I'm gonna put you two in your starting room, which is your cabin. I thought I highlighted both of you. Fucking guess I didn't. So, you may, since it is now this day, let's go over what you know. You know,
We know that,
thank you.
we know that, I forget her name, purple-haired person who died. Kira, was planning an assassination attempt against, the Skyrian leader who is being elected, or however they do that there.
Monarchy.
Coronated. However, she was killed by someone. Probably someone who didn't want her to do that. We know that she was shot in the left temple while she was facing Malcolm, who was on the other, who was about 15 feet away from her.
Malcolm was already unconscious by that point.
In a locked
According to
room.
Malcolm, yes.
Yes.
Yes. So she was facing the direction that we found Malcolm laying there.
Okay.
When Malcolm was already unconscious. Malcolm came following a note
From Varys.
sent, I believe, by Varys, saying, "Hey, come to this area," where he was subsequently knocked out, and then placed with a pistol
That he
between
claims is
him
his.
and the victim. It's his, but he didn't bring it to the train.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for summing that up, because I genuinely couldn't remember what you knew and what was in my notes.
And the dead girl thinks it's Jeremy.
Yes, Emmy is very quick to assume it's Jeremy, despite the fact that his big-ass fingers probably couldn't fit around the trigger.
From what my notes say, physically impossible.
Yep.
Plus, if it was Jeremy, we'd all know.
Yep. I will say, though, there is a spell. I don't know if it works on inanimate objects, but it's called Reduce and Enlarge. And if they had done that, you could have grown the gun to Jeremy's size. But at that point, it would have done a lot more damage to Kira's face. Okay, so you're on the third day. The car overnight while you were doing whatever. I keep saying resting, but like there's a murderer on the train. I'm not sure how restful that is. But at some point in the night, the train started moving again. So you now have today and Hi there, Frederick. Thank you for following. I forgot to pause alerts because no one ever.
Frederick.
No one follows my channel during D&D, so I keep forgetting to pause alerts. So the train's been moving again. You now have today and tomorrow until you reach the capital of Skyria. In which case, most likely, because no one was allowed off the train at the rest stop, if you get to Yorkwood, there's a chance the person will get away. The person who killed Kira, which may or may not be a problem. I will also mention to Asmodee's notes, in his journal, there are 2 pairs of writings in her room. So, on top of Kira, there might be another person attempting that assassination on this train, but you don't know.
Yes.
Or someone who is preparing. My current theory was that there was someone working with her who was not on this train, being the one that our changeling friend is currently shapeshifted into.
Ah. Well, you may begin whenever you're ready. And once again, Jeremy, if you just want to be like, nah, fuck this, you can tell me at any point. Although I might just push you into this anyways, because I feel bad just having you in the caboose. So there are multiple, I will tell you this, there are multiple avenues. There's another detective on board that you know of, that you haven't spoken to since the beginning. There's one person in the cabin car that you haven't spoken to that you do know something about. And you can probably talk to the crew people now, especially Casey, who's actually, like, not guarding Malcolm. What the hell are you doing?
I'm just imagining Yuriko just spinning there.
That's what.
Zoom.
That's also what Asmodee likes to do. Yeah, exactly. God out here explaining your options, and you two are just being ADHD ass.
Just spinning in place.
Only spinning aloud. That image of what's her name? Catherine.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh, okay, yes, go.
Okay. Zoom.
I will also say this, pretty much nobody knows who you are, Asmodee.
Oh yeah, I'm aware of that one. I'm gonna use that.
Oh, good. So yeah, you got...
I'm thinking currently the main lead that I think we wanted to follow up on last time was seeing if Emmy's calmed down yet.
Okay, you can knock on their door, and...
Knock, knock.
Here is the other one. Oh, good morning.
Good morning to you too.
I heard you had some adventure last night getting that cleric found innocent. Right, good job you did there. I have to get back into my Scottish accent.
Unfortunately, this leaves us without a current suspect.
I don't mean to be rude, but maybe it's your big friend? A big trait I want to remind everyone of, well, not everyone, just Devin. Lithian has a negative modifier to her intelligence, so she's not the brightest.
Yeah, so Yuriko is just gonna say, outside, hold on. Now I have a funnier thing for her to say. Okay?
Oh, good. Say it. Do it. Sass master.
The most conclusive piece of evidence that we have to leave him. Sorry, what's the word? To acquit.
Alleviate.
To prove his.
Yeah.
To prove his innocence is the fact that after the murder took place, the door to the room where it happened was not completely obliterated.
She's got a point.
True.
That and 6 inches of finger isn't exactly the easiest to pull a trigger.
Jeremy, your ears are burning. You know someone's talking either mad shit or mad facts about you.
Jeremy
I'm
sneezes.
just imagining the mask taking over, bursting through, and it's like, okay, who's talking shit?
I heard you were talking shit. She's like,
The mask just sneezes.
How would that work with the mask on? I wonder. Anyways, yeah, let's I guess you're right.
It's like, oh god, it's everywhere.
Jeremy gets a headache. That's what happens.
I guess you're right. And from in the room, you say, "Don't count him out just yet." You recognize that voice immediately. Seems like someone is not so. Someone is still quite angry for obvious reasons, but she says, So, do you need us for anything? You know, my offer from yesterday still stands. And she winks. Recall that last time she offered to go through Meglia's things.
I do not think that would be necessary. If I can talk to her, that would... then I can confirm some reads that we currently have.
Alright, Meglia.
If she's willing, at least.
I don't think that's ever gonna happen, and it's easier if we just get her now, I think. She moves to the side, and the door sort of, she slides it closed a little bit, so you can basically only see her through, this little portion here. She says, she looks at the two of you. Mostly her eyes are trained on you, Asmodai, because she has never seen you before. And she says, oh good, more deception. What do you two want? What do you want?
I wanted to know about the person who you were speaking with on the night of the murder.
I wasn't speaking with anyone. I'm not gonna make you roll deception. Deception, insight. Far be it from me, but the two accounts of the two sisters, one of them says they saw Emmy talking, and Emmy says they're not. Someone's lying, you know that much.
Interesting. Just double checking a thing real quick.
Asmo, you just see she keeps looking at you, and she's like, sorry, who is this new person? They didn't let us off the train, but they let someone new on while there's a murder going on? Where's Varys?
Well, that's precisely why I'm allowed on here. Investigator Asmodai.
Sorry, I didn't all I heard from that last sentence was Asmodai. What did you say?
Well, that's why I'm on here. Investigator Asmodai.
Gotcha. Roll me deception if you're gonna go. Well, I guess you're lying.
I'm still going to, because...
Yeah, you're lying about your profession, but go ahead. She narrows her eyes at you, and she's like, uh-huh, okay, sure, let's... I have no reason to not believe you. Where did Varys go, though?
Were you speaking with Varys last night?
I wasn't speaking with anyone. I told you that. Why would I... Jeremy, once again, you hear that mask is going, ooh. Alright. What the fuck are they doing out there? I can feel him. I can feel Reaper coming. Oh, good. The snowplow people are coming to trap my car. Good. Sorry, I'm complaining about real world stuff. We're doing D&D.
You care to fill me in?
Remember when I said something about Reaper? Yeah, sounds like he's getting close and he's getting dangerous.
In other words, I should probably step out of my room.
Probably. Let me find your token. Because I'm the game
I-
master, not Clover anymore.
I'm going to call out to Eve,
Okay.
and I'm going to say, Eve, can we play a game?
There's a little bit of a pause. And Emmy's like, what are you... We're talking. It seems kind of rude that you would just, like, call someone else out just because I'm not...
Can
But...
you do an impression of the person who you heard Emegria talking with last night?
I wish I could give you more than 1 point of inspiration for that, because I'll admit, that was clever. I didn't... Okay, so again, the door's barely open, but because Eve is small, you can basically see her peeking. But then the moment that you say that, I don't know where Jeremy would be standing, but both of you see her basically violently push Eve away from the door. And she says, I don't know what's going on here, but I want you to leave. You and your fake friends and your weird friends and your... And she stops as her eyes train directly on Jeremy through the crack in the door.
What's up?
Asmodai, you can feel it now too. Before it was just the mask, but for some reason, you can feel it because, you know, the coins that you have? You can feel a very similar energy from beyond that door, like right where Emeglia is standing. And it's weird because you've never felt someone's magic before. But you know that she's summoning something up. And for some reason you know that. But it's not the weirdest thing you've gone through. You've experienced weird shit during this adventure.
Like turning people into coins.
Mm-hmm.
Ka-ching.
Yuriko, you're right enough close and you're fine. You see, these two might be more focused on the energy, but you see, on her right wrist, as you saw on the first night, that she had a little, like, it's kind of a magic symbol on her wrist, and it's, I want to say it's glowing black, but that's not physically possible. You know what I mean? Like, it's radiating.
It's a black light.
Yeah, it's got this dark energy coming out of it, and her hand is tense, and... have you interacted with people who would know this spell before? I don't know if you would...
I mean, I've interacted with Emeglia before.
True, but I don't know if she would have used this on or around you. No. Yeah, I think you'd recognize it, but regardless, it doesn't matter, because all three of you hear the mask say, "Oh, I'd get out of the way of that Eldritch Blast if I were you."
Fucking what?
Yikes.
And yeah, once you get out of the way, she slams the door. What did you do to piss her off so bad, girly?
I think
I could ask you the same question.
All I did
think
was
it's more
kill her.
so you
Clearly
from-
that didn't stop her very long.
Yeah, she seems rather lively for being dead.
Wordplay.
The mind retains scars longer than the body has healed from them.
Nice. Want to put that inside a cookie?
Jeremy's sick of everyone's shit right now. You hear a lot of arguing from beyond the door from the two sisters. Asma, what you doing?
Oh, I'm trying to listen in.
the siblings say, look, I get you're upset, but that was a very violent thing. She's 5-year-old and you could have really hurt. You don't seem to understand. I don't trust these people. They seem to be acting like I have something to do with what happened last night, and I'm tired of it. This place is a death trap. Did you not see? He couldn't have done it. And I'm like, and she says, there is a spell to increase the size of weaponry and to shrink other people. All one of them would have had to do is make him smaller or the gun larger, and it would have been possible. Don't let them trick you. As far as I'm concerned, until the actual killer is found, that one is responsible. And I'm not interested in that. And by the way, if you're going to talk about me while I'm not in the room, I'd really rather you tell me what you're going to tell people beforehand. I don't want to talk about what happened that night. It wasn't exactly a good experience for anyone. Someone died, and hey, Lithian, I'd like to keep my privacy about it.
He's really jumping through some mental gymnastics to get to it being you, Jeremy.
To be fair, it's not like I'm guilt-free.
Here comes approaching the other investigator. What is happening outside? Something.
Yoriko lights up when she sees him, and as she approaches, she says, what if it isn't the great detective himself?
Ah, Miss Yuriko, I'm glad that you recall. And, well, I know about your construct there, but I'm afraid you're going to have to introduce me to your friend here.
I'm gonna walk right up to him, put my hand out. Asmodai, I'm an investigator.
Ah, fellow private eye. It's a pleasure to meet you, and yes, he shakes your hand very warmly. I have some very interesting information for you, Miss Yuriko, if you'd like to hear it. I've been doing quite a bit of investigating all day and
Hold
night.
on.
Yeah?
I want to do an insight check because this guy's a famous investigator, right?
Quote unquote famous.
Yeah, famous is a stretch, but yes, he certainly calls himself famous.
If he's skilled, then there is a chance he might have sussed out that I'm not a construct.
Okay, yeah, you can roll insight for that. Or, yeah, it'd be insight.
Dang.
13. He's not hiding anything. It appears that, he, much like the others, genuinely does believe that you are just a very ancient construct of a civilization long gone. He seems, especially since he seems very entranced by the murder, he doesn't seem to have any problem with although he does seem put off by your face. So, although, I'm not sure that's odd for you.
Yeah, it's not really odd.
I was about to say, that doesn't really reveal shit, because everyone's kind of put off by your face, he says, I have some very interesting things.
Yippee! It's not sharing time.
I've since discovered probably the most important thing about this trip, that Kira was planning an assassination. I'm trying very hard to channel my actual TGA Herlock. I'm bad at it. It's been a very long time since I played those games.
I clap for him.
He bows very deeply. Asmar, are you gonna put an end to this circus, or are you just gonna enjoy the shit? The mask is like, oh, Jesus Christ. Nothing's gonna get done here, Jeremy. Let's break that door down and see what that girl knows.
I'm not breaking that door down, intentionally or not.
It's not like they can't fix it. This girl knows mending.
Yeah, but I'm already on the hook. This'll just make it worse.
You're on the hook for one person. Chill out. Let's just throw her out the side of the train. I've been voting for that option since the moment we got here.
Oh my goodness.
So what does Herlock tell us, true or otherwise, that we don't already know?
Well, he knows about... Okay, so The one thing he brings up is a letter he had. It seems he hasn't determined that... Oh, Asma, you can roll insight if you want. But, he does have a letter to you. Not to you, to Kira that he found... outside of Kira's room. Not, like, directly outside, just, you know, not inside the room. That was... Ooh, nice. Yeah, you can tell he has no clue that you are that you were previously Varys.
Good.
This note that he has is written to Kira from Varys, and Asma, if you look at it, it doesn't look like handwriting you recognize. It doesn't look like either of the handwritings for the assassination attempt. And it's letting Kira know, basically it's Varys writing to Kira saying that his ticket had been stolen and thus he will be absent from the train.
Oh.
So...
I'm gonna compare that note to the note that Malcolm got.
The handwritings are very different, yes.
Oh, they're different.
Yeah.
Oh. Well then.
I will say you do recognized the handwriting of the note that Malcolm got, but you do not recognize this handwriting. Remind me, Yuriko, what you saw when you robbed Varys? Like, did you just stole his shit and, like, killed somebody, right? You didn't see any handwriting, you just saw his, like, giant mushrooms.
I didn't kill shit in that dungeon.
No, I know.
Jeremy.
No, I know, but, like... I'm asking what was stolen other than the ticket money and, like, silverware.
I'm pretty sure
The painting.
Well, yeah, the painting. You didn't see
Yeah.
his... Okay. I'm just checking.
I was looking at this. I was looking at a piece of clothing, and I was giving everybody a history lesson on it. But Asmodai was like, "Listen, we're on a time crunch. We need to get the fuck out of here. We don't have time for this."
You can tell me while we're running from the cops. I was just making sure, because then, okay, so nobody would recognize this handwriting at all, then.
We did see, in terms of, like, writing, I think we did see a note from something about Crawford.
Oh, yeah. That was from...
yeah.
I think that was from Crawford, though, so, again, you wouldn't recognize this handwriting at all. None of you do.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jeremy would.
No, this isn't
from
Crawford's
Crawford.
handwriting.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I assure you, if it was, I would have told you. And you probably would have ripped it out of Herlock's twink-ass hands.
So just comparing the two notes, I'm just gonna say out loud. So someone was pretending to sign a letter to Malcolm as Varys.
Indeed, that's my theory. Where is Varys, by the way? I haven't seen him since last night.
I don't quite know.
Oh dear. Hope he's alright. I know they didn't allow anyone off the train. They were intending to take Malcolm off, but apparently they've decided not to, courtesy of our friend Varys. Do you think perhaps he might have been the culprit himself?
I don't see that as a possibility personally.
One must consider every possibility, Mr. Asmodai.
That much is true, but given what has been going on, I don't think it's him.
On top of that, another thing he tells you that he discerned last night is that despite y'all having to break the door down, the lock to the dining car is not damaged in any way. So, whatever...
So the lock was fixed.
Well, that can be your running theory. His running theory is that the lock was not used and something else was used to block the door.
Did you see any marks where the thing that was blocking the door would have damaged it?
I didn't. I will have to look around the room. I saw a few things in disarray when we forced the door open. But I'll see if I can find anything more specific that could have been used in such a way. And the last thing he mentions is that he has yet to get a moment to speak to Malcolm or Lissa. But right now he's gonna focus on the dining car and all the stuff there.
It'd probably also be a good idea to just give Malcolm a bit of time. I mean, he did just get free from accusation.
Well, that's true, but people still think he might be... Until you can determine that he wasn't the one who used that weapon, I'm afraid he's still going to be under at least some suspicion. It would be best to speak to him now rather than later, don't you agree?
I'm just saying, give him some time. It's not exactly the most common thing to be a part of.
I suppose you're right. Perhaps I'll spend a little bit of time looking for Varys on this train and determining if he left or not.
Did you get any time to ask questions of Emegria?
I didn't. Well, I did, but she wasn't exactly excited about it. She kept insisting nothing happened, and that when the shot went off, she just stopped everyone from leaving the room.
Well,
Between you and me,
fine.
I think she might be hiding something, but anyone else refuses to not corroborate her story.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for Herlock to pull a Columbo moment on us.
I am afraid you're gonna have to wait for eternity, because I don't know what that means.
where he just looks at a few things and is like, oh, I know exactly what happened and exactly how it went down.
Like he feigns being the bumbling detective, and then it's, by the way, here, armor-breaking question.
Oh, like Herlock?
No, like Columbo. The best detective.
So yeah, okay. That is everything that he can reveal to you. Are you going to reveal anything to him?
Yeah. I don't want to reveal anything about Varys's whereabouts.
Natch.
And I don't want to reveal that we already knew some of the things that he told us about.
Again, Natch, yeah.
I'm trying to remember what we have that he doesn't already know. I guess I'll talk about
I'll tell you this, as far
our
as...
testimony from Malcolm.
Yeah, this testimony you got from Lithian is also different from his, because he says that Emeglia was corroborated. But yeah, you can give the testimony from Malcolm. And, like, I assume also the note.
Yeah. The note, which has the different handwriting.
Yeah.
And do we know for sure which one's Varys and which one's... I guess the one that says I stole the ticket is definitely him, but then the other one is someone else impersonating Varys.
Yes.
Yeah. So the one that Herlock has is definitely from Varys. The one that I have is not from Varys, despite being signed by Varys.
So yeah. Yeah, you can exchange all your information. Jeremy, roll me a strength saving throw.
Oh boy.
Yeah, should be easy enough.
Fucking, you know what? Fuck you. Just on general principles, go fuck yourself.
Hey, you're asking for a strength saving throw,
yeah,
okay?
against me making a strength check. With the same stat block.
I'm just saying, he's strong boy.
You're They're both strong.
Yeah, I'm
They're
rolling
the exact
as
same
you're
strong.
rolling as Jeremy. I'm rolling as Visara. That's what's happening
All
here.
right, all right.
I thought
So
you were...
results.
No, I
Let's
thought you
move
were-
this forward. Results.
Shut up. I was trying to say you're trying. I thought you were making a dig at the fact that every time I've asked you to make a saving throw against Visara, I have failed. And then I proceeded to fail again, and I'm mad about it.
No, I was making a dig at the fact that you're complaining that you fail every time you make a check like that.
Fuck off! I just for once want the mask to, like, be something other than sitting there wanting things.
You want me to fail for humor's sake?
No, because it's not for humor, it's just for the mask doing mask
Evil.
things. Because the mask, you can feel him kind of urging you to go into here, which you, I think... Would he know? I don't think Jeremy would know who would be in that room.
No, Jeremy would, because he went into the room to try and hide from...
No, that
Whoever.
was
You went into
Ameglia's
this
room.
room here.
Oh, that room. Okay. You're talking
no.
about a different room?
Yeah, I'm talking about the one next to it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it seems as though the mask is like, this is going fucking nowhere. I say we go see what's up with that Saint Solstice. How about that? Seems that she didn't want to fight us yesterday. Why not take advantage of that?
For once, that sounds like a great idea.
As
Who
long
are
as
you?
it's for talking.
You're welcome. He looks sort of curiously at Yuriko, who just kind of says that out of the blue.
Oh, my apologies. Sometimes, sometimes my construct, makes certain noises that indicate, points of interest.
You're gonna have to roll me deception for that one.
Sure. Where to go?
It's alphabetical. There it is.
Yeah.
He sort of, he says, curious. I didn't hear it make any sounds outside of the very breathy ones. I'm sorry. I'd not. What are you? This doesn't seem to be very none of that seems like constructy behavior, if I do say so myself, to say nothing of the fleshy material between stone and other such.
Well, to be fair, it isn't exactly a modern construct. It is old.
You're gonna have to roll me deception now if you're doing it separately. But you have a plus fucking...
It does seem to sometimes have a mind of its own.
With the 6 and the 20 fucking 2, I'll say, I would have to ask my sister. I'm not nearly as knowledgeable on ancient constructs. I suppose I'll just have to take your word for it, Mr. Asmodai. Although, are you two acquainted? I know that she was traveling with Varys, but I haven't seen you until today. I thought you were brought in during in the refueling station.
We've had a few run-ins.
I guess that's not technically a lie, so... alright. I'll leave you your, noise construct and Mr. Asmodai to your things, Miss Yoriko, and if you find anything else, don't hesitate to tell me. I will do the same for you. And once again, he bows very deeply.
And I wish you luck with your investigation.
And you hear the mask, so... Oh, and I thought she was the stupidest person on this train.
As he's walking away, I'm just gonna go up to Yuriko. What did you say that one girl's name was? Lilith? Lilith?
Oh, Lith? The blonde one?
Lith, that one.
Yep.
You might need to take up on Lith's offer to get at least one bit of writing from the dead girl. Because just to double check, just to be absolutely sure that this isn't her writing. And I'm holding up the note that Malcolm gave.
You think that maybe she was the one who tried to knock out Malcolm? We're
Well,
suspecting.
potentially.
So, if she did do this, can we actually throw her off the side of the train?
No!
Why not? If she's guilty of murder, there's no problem with it. She's just a corpse.
If she's guilty of murder, she faces trial, not execution.
Oh, what, like you were gonna face execution? Ugh.
There's a process to this.
Process schmocess. It's justice! She murdered someone, so we murder her back.
No.
I'm having way too much fun playing as a dick. Okay, what's you gonna do next? All three of you.
As I'm going to go over to the staff car, I'm gonna do that closed eyes smile as I turn back to Jeremy and just point back at the caboose.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you this, Herlock is in the caboose with you, so like... Sorry, Jeremy. I love you. So you... Okay. You wanted to go to the crew cabins? Well, beforehand, you have to go through this. And I'm gonna put you here, and where is she? There she is. Whoops.
I'm gonna look at the floor around the doorway for like any scuff marks.
There are a couple of marks that were that you actually roll me investigation, because I
Yep.
shouldn't just give it to you. Jesus. Yeah, you if you're looking for them, like, you do notice very, small, almost like they've been hidden, like, not by magic, but hidden marks on the ground that you think might have been left by something metal. Like, bolts in a barrel or whatever.
Okay.
And both of you are immediately assaulted by the smell of, I want to say bleach, but that wouldn't be a thing here yet. Like, very strong smell of some form of cleaning agent.
Ammonia.
Typically alcohol.
Yeah.
They'd use alcohol for disinfecting.
Yeah.
There's no more blood around where Kira is, and I'm gonna say Kira is it's not necessarily actually Kira, it might be like a,
Chalk line?
yeah, or like something to keep her pose. But yeah, basically, that's been cleaned up, but that's not the only place you can smell it. The door to the kitchen is open, and, yeah, you can explore.
There was also a bruise on, like, the bottom of her hand, right?
No, at the bottom of her wrist, like, right where, like, below where her pinky would be, on her wrist.
Okay.
So, you wanted to go to the cabin car. Both the cabin folk are here. Cabin folk? The crew. You know what I'm talking about. Casey and Nina. You know what? I'm gonna put Nina here. She's doing a thing.
I'm gonna look at the barrel. I'm gonna look around the ground, see if there's scuff marks there too.
On the barrels?
On the floor.
There are little, like, there are marks that get, like, there are a couple immediately close to the door, and then there's, like, two lighter ones that you barely make out because you rolled a fucking 21 and your eyes are like eagles. But other than the very barely visible ones, there aren't many scuff marks. And these barrels look like they've been placed very carefully. Yeah. Yuriko, what you doing? Nina waves to both of you, by the way, and says, "Oh, hello! It's good to see you again."
I'm trying to figure out what I could ask Nina aside from just general pleasantries?
Uh,
Because I'm convinced that she doesn't know anything. Because she was, in the staff car. I mean, maybe she knows something. Is she supposed to have a Scarian accent?
no, that's Casey.
Yeah.
Nina is supposed to have a taco accent.
As I come over here, I'm just sort of observing what specifically she's doing here.
She's mostly just, it's morning time. She's just setting up tables, making sure they're nice and clean for people who want to come in for breakfast. You know, 'cause murder.
Yeah. Did you notice anything strange while you were cleaning?
Tonight? I didn't notice anything today, but, pardon the smell if that's why you're asking. Casey's been cleaning up the blood and wine that was spilled here a couple nights ago. It's been a bit difficult. We shouldn't have left it to stain in the floor.
So was wine as well?
Yes, she says there was wine spilled over in the bar area. I didn't see it, but she could certainly smell it, and apparently she's been working very hard to clean it up the last few hours. She's certainly been up longer than I have. I don't think she slept all night.
Whereabouts was it?
You'd have to ask her for the specifics. I'm afraid I've been busy cleaning up kitchen and making sure everything's ready for breakfast. Speaking of, I hope you enjoy pastries. I've been baking them. Oh, I lost here we go.
No, I just had like a bunch of like filler questions pop into my head.
You can ask them if you want.
Like, oh, are they decorated? What do they look like?
Well, they're just Calistarian Danishes. I can speak English. I promise I speak common. I don't know much about about Skyrian breakfasts, unfortunately, so I've just been catering to the Calistinians on board. Not that that's a problem, since most of the people here are Calistinian, except for poor Casey. Yuriko? Oh, I lost everyone again.
No, I'm still here. I'm just thinking.
Snow?
So out of curiosity, remind me. She was on the right side of this place before, right?
Yeah, both of them were on the crew cabin side.
Okay. So my follow-up question wouldn't make sense to ask then.
What was that gonna be?
If she talked to Ameglia.
Yeah, no, she wouldn't have.
Yeah, she wouldn't have even been near the area.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess Yuriko's gonna try a pastry and then head over to Casey.
They're in the kitchen. You can go and steal a pastry. She will not stop you.
Okay, I go in the kitchen, I steal a pastry, she doesn't stop me, and I come out.
You didn't. Shut up. God, yeah. So over here in the bar area, most of the things that are on this counter have actually been put away, save for this giant fucking tea set over here. You see Casey is on her knees very aggressively rubbing at the floor, which, with the smell getting stronger as you approach, and she does not look up at you.
What happens there?
Someone managed to get behind bar and spill wine. Breaks multiple bottles. She holds up her hand, which she has a couple bandages on. They did not bother to clean up glass. It is my problem to deal with. Yeah, you see, like, I'm not gonna make you roll for it. You see, like, the, like, little bits of wine that she's still getting, but for the most part it's clean and just real stink in here. But it's this, like, deep, like, reddish purple color, as red wine typically is.
When was that spilled?
I am
Was
not...
anything?
I am not sure when it was spilled, but I have not been in bar for 2 days. I have been taking care of Malcolm.
Was there anything else missing or broken?
Just bottles here, but enough to but they were taken out of order. I'm not entirely sure why people would move my things. There is a sizable gap in storage compartment under bar here.
I climb on the table and peek my head under.
Okay.
I'm hanging upside down.
Yeah,
Look.
Casey looks at you with a very raised eyebrow, but she doesn't seem to stop you. And yeah, there's she undersold it. It's like a big enough gap that, like, you could get in there and just be amongst the wine. You'd have to be, like, in a super crouched position, but you could.
I wonder who would need to steal that much alcohol.
I do not think it was stolen. I find bottles that could not fit on shelf over in areas, but I have kept preserved in case important.
Mind if I take a step behind the bar real quick?
Do as you must.
I'm not gonna climb over it like a fucking animal.
You could! Evidently,
And
Casey's not stopping you anymore.
And I'm just gonna see the gap if behind it there's like any dust or whatever.
Hi, James. So there is dust to the immediate left and right of this gap, but the place itself is miraculously very clean. Once again, it looks as though someone has very specifically carved out this hole here. And Asma, I'd say you probably would also fit in here despite being bigger than Yuriko.
Yeah, that certainly is a lot of wine missing.
My tail takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. Casey sort of looks back at what she's cleaning up. She says, some of it broken, some of it moved, and possibly some stolen. It is great disrespect to the Skyrian people who make this wine.
Do I see traces of, like, anything else being stored in this spot, even if temporarily?
In this spot, you see, like, traces of mud that would be on shoes, but other than that, no.
Like, there's traces of mud where the alcohol would be on the shelf.
Yeah, like at the bottom of the shelf.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
what, someone was actually in there?
I did say it was big enough that someone could be.
Yeah.
Like why the fuck would there be mud?
Because
It's like possibly
shoes?
possibly shoe marks, scuff marks, sort of thing.
I'll tell you this too, Casey doesn't seem to have noticed it. She seems more preoccupied on the moved, stolen, and also broken wine that she's cleaning up. I'll also give you this for free. If she cut herself on the glass, that means they didn't feel the need to clean up the wine bottle that they broke. Or bottles. You don't know how much was broken. You just know it was enough that she cut herself a couple times. Casey, I mean.
Yeah, so they they did this sort of in a rush, sort of haphazardly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Weird.
It seems like someone must have been stored here temporarily.
This is when she looks up and notices the dirt. James says he won't leave as many, quote, dumb comments. None of your comments are dumb, James. I love them all, and I love you. Okay, sorry.
Also,
is
you're a dirty
probably-
liar, James.
This is probably where their shoes were.
I'm not gonna make you two roll insight. She looks very upset that she didn't notice this before you. She brings out the dirty-ass rag she was using and just sort of stands and says, it is difficult and irritating that you keep finding things I am supposed to be finding as security of this train.
Well, you're a bit preoccupied. We're not.
I can't decide if you're trying to give her benefit of the doubt or be sassy again.
Yes.
Okay. She narrows her eyes at you and she says, I have still not lost all suspicion of you. You appear in the... Just because he claims that you might have been the Varus in disguise doesn't... Sorry, let me try that again. Just because he believes that you were once disguised as Varus to take his place does not mean that I trust you or the Malcolm. Until you can prove he is his alibi, which nobody can. I do not trust either of you completely. But I want to see this get through to the end. If someone on this train risks Skyrian Princess's coronation being soured or ended early, I must take care of it.
Once we find the culprit, we will make sure to let you know so you can help us remove them.
Tremendously. Do so. And be quick. 2 days until we reach Yorkwood. I do not want any bad incident happening. So
Do I
yeah.
see... When we were looking at where the dirt was, there's no shoe marks, right?
Not specifically shoe marks, no. Just, you know, detritus.
Okay. So they were soggy.
No, just muddy. Yeah, that's what Casey has to offer you. I will remind you that the two things that you have yet is, you don't have, M's, like, full, truthful testimony, and you don't, you haven't explored every room in the cabin car. And now that you have the theory that the door might not have been locked, anyone from the cabin car could have done this, so...
Even though it wasn't locked, it did have some stuff blocking it, though, so only select people could have moved it from the other side.
Nice. True. I can't lie.
How did he tie the bag from the inside?
Magic. But also, yes, that funny reference, but Stickman did actually end up tying it from the inside of the bag, so... So what else do you two want to do? Or do you want... Jeremy, do you want to do anything?
Nope. I mean, Jeremy is currently stuck with Herlock, so...
Herlock is, like, has been convinced so far that you're, human. Not human, that you're a robot. This is Herlock's room. Do you want to go into Herlock's room?
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay.
You can go into Herlock's room. I'll go into the one adjacent.
Well, that's.
Oh wait, no, that's Malcolm's. Never mind.
Yeah.
You can go into Malcolm's room. Why would I stop you from
Fine,
doing
fine,
that?
fine.
We've already talked to
There we
him.
go.
Yeah. Herlock's
We're gonna
room.
go in this one.
That's Kira's room. Similar to
Oh shoot, I thought this
Asmodai.
one was Kira's room.
This room is unoccupied.
Oh. Do I find anything in the unoccupied?
No, the door is locked.
Oof.
In Asmodai, this room, you see on this desk plenty of parchments, mostly half written in. Again, it's a handwriting you don't recognize, but it's much more bombastic, so you can assume it's Herlock's handwriting, as opposed to Sherlock's handwriting. Stupid joke. I am the stupidest human being alive. This is all like his notes. You see at one point there's like the script for like a book he might be writing of his exploits. But he has some notes on this, and he also has his paper from he has the note from Varys that he wrote, that was written to Kira. And wow, my brain shut down. There's a similar. Okay, roll me history. Jesus, Yuriko, where did you go? You are going to Malcolm's.
Around here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you don't recognize the other handwriting that you see, but you do see 3 torn out pages of something. It's somewhat familiar, but it's not any of the handwriting you've seen on this train before. And it's saying, something about dismissal. What is not... honorific dismissal, that's the word I'm looking for. But it's a handwriting that you find familiar, but don't recently recognize. Sorry. Lissa and Yuriko, you walk in without knocking, I assume. And these two are Malcolm is resting, Lissa is reading something, trying to, she looks and waves and she says, "Good morning." Or good afternoon, I don't know what time it is anymore. Time is an illusion on this train. She doesn't actually say that. But Malcolm approaches, he says, "Did you need something, Miss Yuriko?"
Yes, I'm collecting handwriting samples from everyone on the train.
Oh, alright. Roll me insight. You.
Me.
Lissa looks very uncomfortable when you ask that. She's like, I don't understand why. You already know this. What? You know, is this about the note that Mr. Asmodai has? Because I thought we determined that was from Varys.
Yuriko says, I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to reveal this to her.
Malcolm,
Depends. Is it funny?
if it's funny, you can absolutely. No, but if you, while you're deciding this, Malcolm gives you a, he takes a piece of parchment and he just writes, "This is Malcolm's handwriting," in his handwriting, and he hands it off to you. Asmodai, what else you find there is mostly just, his writing, his notes on what you and Yuriko have told him, other than this, again, familiar but unrecognized handwriting.
Yeah, I'm going to try and copy that handwriting down as best as I can on a separate piece of paper.
I would say that's
because I don't want to
hand.
take it. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I'll say you basically just overlay another parchment and you put it near a light and you just sort of sketch over it to have that handwriting. So now you have this mysterious handwriting.
And I'm out.
Cool. But yeah, Malcolm gives you his thing.
Yeah. Okay. So the explanation that I give to Lissa is to be honest, we had sort of a loss for reads. One angle that I wanted to try and take it from was that of graphology. Have you ever heard of it?
I haven't. Not really. I admit I typically do more active justice than investigative.
Yuriko, as she's moving closer with the piece of paper, she's sort of explaining. It's the idea is that certain things about people's handwriting can reveal traits about their personality. For example, and then I show her a piece of my handwriting.
Okay, so if you're gonna tell her that this is why you need it, I am gonna have you roll deception because this is a lie.
Yep.
But I will admit it is a very, very smart and creative one. And since, like, I would say advantage, but, like, this doesn't seem relevant, so I think she would be suspicious of it.
Yuriko's explaining how you see how when I write this phrase, a lot of the strokes are turned upturned, which indicates a positive outlook on life.
I see. Well, some see positivity as a way of deluding oneself from the real world, but, yeah, roll me deception for this to see if she buys this.
Do you think? No, I don't want to cast minute meteors.
You just throw a meteor in her face. Give me your fucking handwriting! Okay, yeah, on an 18, she looks a little bit confused by it. Like, she doesn't really see what you're saying about the upturn. But she's like, well...
So essentially, the way that I'm trying to come across is sort of akin to someone who's like really into astrology, where I want her to think like she has no idea. She has no idea that it could be me.
You.
So Libra of you. Yeah, she's like, well, all right, I suppose. There's no harm in that, I guess. And she takes your parchment and she sort of writes down, this is Lissa's handwriting, and hands it to you. Malcolm approaches and says, have you made any other leads, Mr. Asmodai?
Not as much as I'd like, but there is definitely a new handwriting thrown into the mix.
Is that why she's... Lissa looks up before she gives... Like, as you say that, I guess she handed it back. She says, new hand... Why are you two so invested in handwriting so much?
Well, considering that there's 3 unique handwritings, it's a bit...
3?
Yeah.
Care to elaborate?
Well, the note that you got from Varys isn't Varys.
What? I assumed not. I assumed it was from someone else I assumed it was from you.
Yeah. You assumed as much. I assumed it was actually from Varys.
And it's from neither.
Correct.
Tremendous. Well, at least we know that someone here wanted someone to frame. Well, I shouldn't keep you. You have mine, you have my sister's. If you need everyone's handwriting, you can do so.
Yeah, working on that. But get the idea that the group in the next cabin over isn't actually gonna be willing.
I did hear quite a bit of argument.
Oh, yeah.
Hmm. It seems, though, that only one of them seems difficult to speak to. Perhaps you could talk to the others and see what you can get from them. I would
Well.
join you, but I'd rather not stir this pot any more than it's already been. People seem to still
Yeah.
think I might be involved.
Yeah. Not much them over there. Well, at least one of them. Very adamant on saying it's Jeremy.
Oh, your yes. You did tell them that his hands are much too big to hold my pistol, right? It was
Yes.
custom made, you know.
Oh, it's custom.
Well, the M on the side made in pearl should have been an indication, but yes.
I didn't really get a good look at it, so that's alright.
Yes.
But the one person over there is trying to really jump through some hoops to make it so that it is him. Like saying he can now cast some magic spells to be able to enlarge it.
Reduce and enlarge, I see. Well, you should let them know that that's not exactly how that spell works. Although I'm certain that she knows that. They don't seem very clueless on that. Well, most of them, don't seem very clueless on that side.
I don't know. Magic's not my thing. That's more Yuriko.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to ask Lissa before we head out. No, nothing comes to mind right now.
Okay.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah, sure enough. If you need anything, okay. If you need anything, don't hesitate to ask. You've been quite a bit of help, the pair of you.
Just walks out, shuts the door on him.
After we get a little bit further from the door, I want to show Asmodai the two handwritings to compare.
Okay. Well, the one that says it's Malcolm's is not familiar, but the one that Lissa gave you matches up with one of the two handwritings that you found in Kira's baggage.
She's part of the assassination plot.
Well, that doesn't look good for that doesn't look good for Alyssa.
Neither of them, by the way, match up with the handwriting that you found in Herlock's room, which I will say, Yuriko, if you look at the handwriting that he found in Herlock's room, you can also roll a history check on it, see if you recognize it.
Sure thing. Because we are sharing notes right now. History.
With a 14, you can place it, because this was mere days ago that you saw the murder room in the Solstice headquarters. You would recognize the very stern, clean handwriting of Confrontus Veldin.
So this was the one talking to Herlock about stuff.
No, this is the handwriting that was
Honorific
saying...
discharge.
Yeah.
Pardon? You cut out.
Honorific discharge.
So,
Yes.
yeah, that's the handwriting that,
That was in Herlock's room.
Yeah, but it was notes from Herlock's room, not, like, talking to Herlock. So, you recognize that handwriting. Do you tell him that it's Confrontus's?
I mean, I don't see why not, because it is potentially relevant to the case.
Why would Vilden be... That's weird.
Perhaps the fact that 3 prisoners escaped? 4, rather?
Well, let's talk about honorific discharge. It's not exactly prisoner related.
I'm saying it could have happened after the fact.
No, probably, yeah. Well, then that wouldn't exactly be honorable. If it's anything related to that. I don't think, at least.
I don't think Yuriko would notice, but your passive is so high, Asmo, that once again you see this little lady go into the caboose.
God damn it.
As soon as I hear the alarm, I'm heading in as well.
Natch.
I'm guessing we're cutting to me.
Yeah, everyone's coming in, so let me get Aurora. Where is he? Herlock. Herlock, this is a stupid scene. You come in and Herlock's kind of just looking at Jeremy, kind of curiously. Fascinated by him, as you might say. Which is immensely odd for the pair of them. While Eve, is looking through the bag that had been rifled through.
I haven't seen someone so fascinated in my body since Lavinia.
Gross! Ah! That's so weird!
What, you thought he was a virgin?
Yeah, so that's the scene you two walk in on.
If we are not interrupting...
Oh, I think we are.
Oh, sorry. Your it just seemed so fascinating. Sorry, I was a little bit sidetracked. I was going through the bag that your, little friend seems to be going through right now. I hope you don't find that, discomforting that I was looking at your golem.
Yuriko seems to be completely ignoring Herlock as she walks over, and she's just gonna ask Eve, "Did you find any treasure?" In sort of a like playful tone.
She looks at you as you say that, and she says, "This isn't the right bag. I know it's on this train somewhere. I have to find it."
What's on this train?
You all three hear the message. Stop! Don't tell anyone else! Just do your frigging job! And she once again goes kind of quiet.
I mean, is it that big of a problem if she tells?
I'm kinda sick of her not listening to her mama, because you're around.
Well, I'm sorry. I just think she's a cute kid and want to protect her and be a good influence.
Oh my god, you want to be her dad so bad. Too bad!
I mean, kind of.
This is the most wholesome fucking shit ever. She says, "You're trying to help that Mr. Kai person. If you can find the next piece with Mr. Jeremy, I can help you get the next one too."
Well, that's very kind of you.
She smiles.
Is that what you are looking for here?
They call it the water of life. It's a part of his ritual. That's what Mama tells me. But every time I try to find a piece of that, you find it first.
Yuriko goes over and she's gonna pat Eve's head and say, That's because you're experienced treasure hunters.
Roll me, hang on. I need to remember what I need for this.
Wisdom save, dexterity save.
Hang on.
Constitution
I
save,
think
you're
it's a-
poisoned.
I think it's a dex save.
He bites me and I get poisoned.
Yeah, it's a... Oh, no, it's a strength saving throw.
You are
Strength
suffering
save, oh
from
no.
Radiation poisoning.
The mask is taking over me.
Holy
Ooh.
shit!
At a
Nat 20,
-1.
-1.
Okay. You don't get pushed then. This spell doesn't work. But you feel, as soon as you, like, touch her, you feel this large burst of air. And Jeremy, you remember this from the first time you met Eve when you were walking to Octavo. She used the spell to push you backwards, and she attempts to do the same to Yuriko the moment that she makes physical contact with Eve. Eve, it doesn't look like she's doing that on purpose, though. Like, you feel that large burst of air, and you're barely able to stand, but you can tell she wasn't expecting that to happen either.
Yuriko's hair's just like blown back and frazzled now.
I don't actually do this, I'm just doing this for funnies. I grab my knife out of my boot. She's attacking!
She's attacking us!
Roll initiative.
Yeah, y'all see that happen.
Nice.
Herlock sort of approaches. He says, I hate to be, interrupting whenever this is happening, but, if this isn't your baggage, I'm afraid you're going to have to stop, young lady. This is an investigation, and I don't think someone as small as you should be getting involved. Oh, hey, Jeremy.
Jeremy walks up to Herlock right behind him and puts a hand on his shoulder.
Yeah, that makes him kind of freak a little bit, because, again, he thinks you're a robot. You feel him, like, twitch. And he says, Miss Yuriko, is there something you're trying to tell me with your construct thing here? What's going on?
This is a glitch, and I'm gonna grab Jeremy's hand and, like, gently, like, try to lift it off Herlock.
And realizing what he's doing, Jeremy just twitches his arm as if it's malfunctioning.
I love that. I will say to Jeremy, roll deception, see how good you are at pretending to be a robot. But also, I love this, and the mask is like, I could ask the same fucking question. What are you doing? With an 8, that's very bad robotic acting.
Wouldn't that be a performance check?
Oh, it would be
instead?
performance, actually, but they're the same. They're both charisma, aren't they?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Well, he is very bad at charisma, so
Yeah, he
for
is
obvious reasons.
Yeah. So he doesn't really buy that acting from you, Jeremy. He says, you know, the more that I'm around this thing, the less that I believe you about it being a, you know.
That's understandable.
Sure enough, the mask is like, yeah, I could ask the same question. Leave the fucking girl alone. Let her do her own fucking thing.
You know, considering the detective is on our side, maybe we should cut the act.
Also,
I mean, Yuriko doesn't hear this.
Asmodee approached.
No, I was just getting a little closer. That was
Ah.
it.
Okay.
I was far away.
I don't think we should cut shit until that we find out who actually did this.
You just enjoy fucking with people, don't you?
Kinda, yeah! I can't say it's not entertaining. There's not much else I can do. He is only a face, after all.
Looking for any fun stuff I have to do.
Asmo, you did walk closer a little bit, right? Or
Yes.
Eve, once you approach a little bit, Eve's eyes go to you, and she says, he didn't kill it. She looks at you and says, Mr. Jeremy didn't kill anyone on this train.
Tell me something I
I
don't know,
mean-
because I've kind of already figured that out.
I mean, not
he killed.
entirely accurate, but
She shakes her head and she says, no, it is. I can feel it. There is a sorrow and a trauma inside of her, but it was not caused by you. Something else finished her after you started it, but it wasn't you.
what?
I think that my brother should be able to solve this problem, but I'm not allowed to say anymore. And again, her twitching gets really bad. And again, she kind of grips at, like, the side of her head, but it's not nearly as bad.
Jeremy instinctively steps forward to comfort her,
Ah.
which I'm pretty sure
I broke
Herlock
everything.
notices.
Yeah, absolutely. He says,
I'm gonna hand him my water skin in case she's thirsty or something.
Aww. She says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. You can't. I don't want to. That's she's sort of mumbling, and Jeremy, with a force that you've not felt the mask do ever. Like, okay, how do I describe this? You and the mask have fought for control over your body for the entire time that you've been wearing him. He constantly tries to. This is the first time that he has wrenched control so effortlessly from you. And you almost feel separated from your butt. Don't fucking tempt anyone, James. You feel like he wrenches as he cocks his hand back and he smacks Eve hard enough that she kind of falls to the ground. Fucking James, don't you fucking do it. Nye, I'm watching you.
I'm not actually going to.
Okay, good.
Jeremy, grab. Hey, are there any weapons nearby?
Fucking damn it, Devin.
I did say it wasn't me.
Funny you should ask that. As he smacks her, you hear her say, just do your fucking job, you conduit! And as he smacks her, and there's a pause before she sort of points her finger off, and black lightning fires off from it. And a chest at the back of the caboose is where her shot lands, and it flies open. And inside there is all your weaponry.
Excuse me, Yuriko, I have to kick my own ass.
Back of the caboose, other side.
Yeah.
Black lightning ought never to shoot from a child's finger. That's true.
The second that I see any of that black lightning, I'm just ducking behind a crate.
That's fair.
I'm gonna move in to see if Eve is okay.
She looks like she's about to cry because Jeremy just hit her. Well, Jeremy, unquote, unquote. But yeah, like, physically, she's fine. I mean, she's not. She got knocked to the floor by a 7-foot gargantuan flesh man who's now kicking his own ass. But, you know, she looks very upset by what just happened.
And meanwhile,
Running his face
Jeremy's
into
like,
his cleavage.
sacrosanct!
Yeah, you can hear a lot of... I'm not gonna fucking... I can't replicate it, but yeah, these two are fucking... Herlock's just completely lost. These two are fucking each other over. Asmodee, you're watching Yuriko try to comfort a very upset Eve. This is all a nightmare of a scene happening here.
And Herlock forgot to bring his popcorn.
Yeah, no, Herlock's not enjoying this. He's mostly like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah. Yuriko, what specifically are you doing?
Hugging her, reassuring her that it's gonna be okay.
Uh,
Hopefully not getting knocked back by the wind thing again.
no.
But no promises.
As you approach her and you do, like, once again touch her, she again grips at her thing, and this time something else somewhat more familiar happens. Do you remember back at the very beginning of this where, actually, yeah, she did this also to confront us, where, like, darkness kind of just orbed around whatever? It kind of just emanates from her as you get closer in sort of a sphere around here-ish. Whoops. Like, whoops. Oh my god, I don't know how these things work. Like, that.
Yeah.
And when you are in this dark, like, thing, I've forgotten what it's called. Hey, B-Man! Darkness ought never to emanate from a child, true. When you are inside this dome, basically, you cannot breathe at all. It's almost like your life is being stolen away as you find you can't, like, you're struggling to breathe around her. I'd say all three of you notice this. Even Jeremy, who's busy kicking his own ass, sees what's happening. And you feel like you're, like, this death coming around you before you are pulled backwards out of it by Herlock. And you are once again able to breathe.
I think that I'm still holding on to E. Just like trying to hug her tight and reassure her, because I think that I'm gonna get knocked back by the wind thing.
If you are holding on to her while you're pulling on, you're gonna have to do a strength check to see if you can stay grappled to her.
Okay.
But I will say, if you do, you have no idea if that orb is gonna move with you, so...
Yep. Saving throw or ability check? Same modifier, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah, no. As you are pulled back suddenly with a 4, you're not going to be able to hold on to her as he pulls you out of that sphere of darkness.
Okay.
And he says, Miss Yuriko, what is... Are you alright? And also, what is going on here?
I mean,
I
at
think
this point,
you might
Yuriko's
want to
just
stop
gasping
your
for breath.
friend, your robot friend, who's not a robot, I don't think, from just killing itself. Although I'm not sure, Jeremy, would you stop if you noticed that, Yuriko is trying not to be dying anymore?
Oh, if his friends are in trouble, yeah, he's stopping what he's doing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that just happened.
The next thing I say, I look at Jeremy and then I look back at Herlock and I say, "You deserve an explanation."
I hate to be rude about it, but I certainly agree. I would like to know why you lied about your friend over there being a robot for so long, as if you could hide it from a great detective. And you hear the mouse say, "Great detective. After all of that. The mask seems a little bit tired after your fight. Let's put it that way. Let's call it a fight.
And I explained to the last person on the train who doesn't know about Jeremy's circumstances.
Well, also Casey doesn't. The crew people don't know, but they don't need to know. They don't care. Yeah.
Casey doesn't count.
They don't count? Okay. He says, I see. So you needed to get a third person on so you could... Alright. If that... What about the girl that just, I think exploded into a dome of darkness just there?
I'm not actually sure what her deal is. She just does that
She's
sometimes.
honest. She just
appears.
She just does that sometimes. It's the funniest. It's true. It's entirely true. It's just really funny that that's how you put that.
She just appears sometimes.
Girls ought never to explode into domes of darkness. True. Yes, well, I don't know if she's moving from there anytime soon. Perhaps we ought to move elsewhere?
I'm gonna write a little note for Eve.
Aw.
Basically saying it's not safe to stay in the caboose here.
Aww.
Like,
And
you should go back to
Jeremy
your room,
previously asked why she was called the nice one. I think she's demonstrated that now. Okay. So yeah.
To be fair, it wasn't Jeremy who hit her. I mean, it was, but it also wasn't.
Yeah. So yeah. I don't know if Jeremy would go with them out of the caboose. I mean, he absolutely could.
I mean, he might as well.
Yeah. I don't know if... Props to her for being the mom friend, but I'm not confident that Yuriko would want Jeremy to stay in the room after hitting this girl so hard she fell to the floor.
Yeah, that's true. And if
Jeremy
we're
would probably want him to keep his distance too, so...
Aw, everyone, yeah.
If we're doing that, I'm probably taking my spell book and adding it to the notes.
Yeah, you can take your... Yeah, like, the weapons chest is open. She blasted it with magic and it's open. So, you can take your shit now, if you want it. Where players?
Take my spell book and I'll take my spellcasting focus so that I don't have to keep looking for a piece of iron if I want to restrain Jeremy if he tries that shit again.
True. You know Hold Person?
Yes.
I forgot that.
I used it on him in the chest scene.
Did you?
Yeah.
I know you used it during the tower chapter. I didn't know you used it here. Apparently I'm stupid. Anyways.
Maybe it was the tower one. I know I've used it like once.
You've used it a couple times.
As the three of you leave, Herlock turns around and says, well, ignoring that little episode there, I think we only have, one lead left to follow right now. And, that's with your, friend. You know, the girl in the cabin right here. I'm afraid that's all we have left to do.
Yeah.
Probably keep me out of it, considering...
I don't think we should. Oh, come on. She just said
Listen,
you
I
didn't
know
kill
it-
him.
I know, but we don't know if she still thinks that we did.
We also don't have much proof aside from the testimony of a small child.
Yeah, that's not exactly something that holds up and counts.
God, you're all a bunch of cowards. She can only help me once, and it's to help hit the stupid thing back into control, isn't it? Fine, do whatever, but I'm not leaving. She also dropped a subtle hint as to what could diffuse this whole thing, with Emeglia, but I'm not, it's something about Asmo, cause brother.
Brother can resolve the situation.
Fuck.
Herlock approaches the door. You know what?
Before he does this, I just need to check a spell real quick.
Okay. Asmo, you can roll me history if you want to see if you can understand what she meant when she said that.
Can you remind me what she said?
Just brother can resolve the situation, but that's all I can say, because Mama doesn't want me, whatever.
Oh,
Oh my god!
that's my best history check yet.
You remember, so when she says that, so you've had a couple interactions with people, and you have heard the mask at this point say the name Reaper, which you recognize, you've talked to Reaper before. Putting all this together, you also recall the way that you dealt with Pirak was he was invincible until you basically asked for assistance from Banshee. So, what she's saying is whatever compelled you to do that might help here in terms of getting Reaper's help, if Reaper is truly connected.
Okay.
Okay. So the other thing I want to do is we got to gesture Jeremy to head back to our room.
Okay. Yeah, Jeremy can do that. I mean, he
Might as
can.
well.
It's Jeremy's choice if he wants to go
He's
into
in control, so.
the cozy room.
The cozy
Alright.
room. The retainers
better-
can make you some tea or something.
It's better than the caboose, at least.
Oh, he broke it.
Yes, you did, because you decided, I'm gonna move then.
Listen. Hang on, I'll fix it. Boop and boop. Okay. So yeah, Herlock approaches.
And then before we do our fast-paced interrogation, I'm going to cast Detect Thoughts.
on.
Detect Thoughts works on myself. So essentially how it works is, for the duration, I can focus as an action, I can focus my mind on one creature I can see within 30 feet of me and detect their surface thoughts.
Okay.
So I can essentially switch targets at will for the duration of 1 minute.
Oh, you could switch targets? I thought it was like a one and done.
Nope.
Huh. Alright.
Essentially, it's for a minute I can detect surface thoughts, but I have to be focusing my action on that one creature.
Okay. So yeah, he knocks on the door, and the door opens a little bit, and there stands the dead girl. So I need to make a wisdom save for her to not be.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope, only if I can detect the surface thoughts for free. If I probe deeper, then she'll have to make a wisdom save.
Okay. Well, she seems very well. You don't need detect thoughts to know she's thinking, "Ugh, these fucking people again." And she says, "What do you want? I've already told you everything I wanted to, detective. I'm not giving you anything else. I just want to spend the rest of this trip in our room safely, just the four of us."
Is the name Reaper familiar to you?
How do you know that name?
I don't care.
I've personally had a run-in with him.
You've interacted with Reaper before?
Surprisingly, yes.
Why?
I don't know.
What do I get from Detect Thoughts about, like, her surface thoughts about Reaper?
As soon as you bring up the name, basically, you hear something along the lines of, I thought that he only talked to me. Basically, like, oh, I thought I was, he's my patron, why does he talk to other people? And why is he talking to these two specifically? One already knows magic, and the other one clearly is a shape changer, so he doesn't need anything. Herlock says, "We just want to speak a little bit about this I suppose she says, Reaper, fellow. If that's all the same to you, it wouldn't be a problem, would it? And she sort of opens the door a tiny bit more and she says, I guess it has nothing to do with this. But why? What is... Reaper has nothing to do with this. He's just...
We have reason to believe that you were talking with him on the night of the murder.
Enough with this talking to someone on the... and while she's saying that, you hear, I really wish Lith hadn't fucking said anything. Not fucking, she doesn't cuss, but you know what I mean. Enough with this.
Frick.
I've told you 3-4 times now, I didn't talk to anyone. I told that to Herlock. I told that to you. And Herlock says, indeed you did, but, did you remind me, you told Herlock that Lith gave different testimony to you and him, right?
When we were exchanging notes, I'd imagine we would.
Yeah, then he says, but, these two told me that your sister gave different information to the pair of us. So, it would be... it seems as though there might have been a contradiction. One of you might be lying. And the door sort of closes a little bit more. And she says, I'm not lying. We were alone in a room. The 3 of them were resting. I was reading. A shot went off and I didn't let anyone else out of the room. That's what happened. But yeah, you, like, you do hear, you, Yuriko, you hear, like, I wish Lithian hadn't said anything, so.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, like, under my breath say, some help would be really nice, Reaper.
Yeah, okay. There's a bit of a pause. And you hear, all of you, I think even Jeremy can feel the energy change, and you hear, behind you all, you hear a familiar voice saying, well, I hope I'm not interrupted. Whoa. What's going on here? And sure enough, I think, Jeremy, you could probably be seeing this, that a certain someone is floating behind everyone now. Hey there. And the door opens a little bit more, and she says, what are you doing here? I didn't call you. And he says, yeah, someone else did. What's, I know, you need my help for something? One of you? I mean, I know who called me here, but, yeah, so, what's the deal here?
I believe the 2 of you are acquainted.
Who, her? Yeah, she's my, I'm her, patron. I think, yeah. And she says, and the door finally opens a little bit more, like fully, and she says, yeah, I said that. Why are you here, Reaper? I didn't call on you. And he says, well, someone did. I assume this got to do with that girl who just entered my ledger. What's her name? Kira? I'm not supposed to get involved in these, mortal spats too often, Asmodai.
Yeah, well aware of that. Just, still trying to understand who did it, and right now...
all 3 of you can
rough with
probably faintly hear him say, oh, that fucking hypocrite. Like, the mask says that. Well, he says hypocrite for multiple reasons.
We were wondering if the conversation you had last night was relevant to the investigation or if it was nothing to be concerned about.
Conversation? What conversation?
This has truly?
I ain't spoken to Ems in a couple months. She and I don't exist. She just kinda, and again, he says, yeah, fucking doubt that. And he turns and he says, I'm sorry. Vise, are you gonna come out here and talk to me, or are you just gonna start talking shit behind my back as if I can't hear you?
I'm assuming that detect thoughts isn't gonna, like, the surface thoughts is...
Yeah, no, that spell does not work on Reaper.
That's fair.
I guess if he already knows we're here.
It's kind of hard for me to not know there's another demigod on my side here, Jeremy. Tell me.
Hey, Mr. Reaper? was it?
Just call me Reap, everybody does. Look, what's the deal going on here? He says, oh, you fucking hypocrites! You're mad at me for talking to the mortal taking over Jeremy's face, and yet you've got your own undead patron. How's that? And he says, hey. Just because I like to break the rules sometimes just like you, but at least I'm not taking someone's free will. She can do whatever she wants. He says, yeah, great. So why do you not get to bring up anything? So you just get to go to the afterlife and come back whenever you want just because she can summon you. And he says, no. She's got to summon me. I still got to obey them rules or God knows how long I'm going to be down there. I'm not breaking the rules the same way you are.
I mean, to be fair, he was sort of kicked out of the club, so...
Yeah, Jeremy, I know a lot about about that history a lot better than you do. I lived it.
Right.
And hey, the difference between you and me, at least I'm not hitting little girls, am I? I know what you did, and I think you
Hey,
need
that
to...
was him, not me.
I'm not talking to you, Jeremy. You'll know when I'm talking to you.
I'm sorry, there are both of us here. It gets confusing.
Look, he kind of, like, he's floating this whole time. He kind of puts his hands up a little bit. He's like, I'm getting defensive. I'm assuming I was summoned for some reason regarding her. But I don't know what conversation y'all are talking about.
We're trying to...
Something I've been...
No, go ahead.
Something that's been bothering me, about,
What are the rules?
Brain fart, sorry. Something that's been bothering me about, the relationship between, our friend and Emegria is... Was he the one who did her in, or was it someone else?
Oh, he tried. He got real close. That's why. That's all this is about. Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, I'll admit, that one was a bit of a rule break. I'm not supposed to step in. I remember that kind of... He got close. Maybe she wants to show you she's got that mark right across her entire upper body. But he didn't get right through her. You've seen this before, but I remember you blacked out this memory. All three of you see this giant parchment paper show up right in front of him. And he says, this here's my ledger of people I'm supposed to collect, souls I'm supposed to, bring to the ethereal with me. And she was on that list for sure, but I wanted to see what I couldn't see. Wanted to spare one person. And so, even though he got real close, her friend just so miraculously managed to save her at the last second, close enough to get her to a city apothecary, who decided that she wasn't lucky enough to survive. Why do you think she's so grayish? That ain't normally just how decay works. And Meglia looks very uncomfortable as he brings this up. And he says, yeah, you cut her in half, Jeremy, but you're not the thing that killed her. Apothecary that poisoned her technically is the thing that did it in.
Wait, which apothecary are we talking about?
Oh, you ain't met him. He's dead now. She put him in the ground with one Eldritch Blast.
Huh.
There's with people around here in Eldritch Blast. I swear.
Well, it's Wardlock's favorite thing, ain't it?
I wouldn't know.
So yeah, she's a warlock. I'm sure you figured that out a million years ago. But yeah, basically, hey Jeremy, you didn't actually kill this one. That's one out of several million.
Spooky.
Well, hey, there's one you didn't butcher.
Mm-hmm.
What a comfort.
Anyway, I'm switching my spell target back to Emmy.
Yeah, she seems to be thinking, her thoughts are on the apothecary that killed her. Mostly. It seems she's thinking about that a lot as she looks on it Reaper. Very upset, because, like, hey, you didn't have to spill her guts like that. She could have done that. But Jeremy's, Reaper says, look, this is a lot, I'm sure, and I'm sure all of you are having a great time trying to decipher what all this means. But whatever your conversation you think I had last night, I didn't have anything.
Well, definitely cleared up some stuff. Thank you.
And I turn back to Emmy and I say, so who exactly was it?
Reaper in the meantime says, I hope you figure out whoever did this. And Viz says, you clearly know! Why don't you tell us? He says, I don't like breaking the rules that much. See ya. And he disappears. I love that shit disturber. Anyways, her thoughts, she doesn't say anything. She sort of growls a little bit, kind of gutturally. But your detect thoughts, once again, you see kind of a very blurry, dark picture. Her eyes aren't very good, because she's dead, and also, even before she died, she needed glasses. But you see a very blurry version of Kira in her head when you ask that question.
Interesting. I ask, could it have been none other than the victim herself?
The doors, she starts closing and says, for the last time, I don't want you or your friends or him or... And shut up, phone. Herlock puts his hand on the door and says, I think that's enough. Whatever you're trying to dodge here, it isn't going to work. I'm rather sick of you trying to hide things from us. I think we're coming in, and I think it's about time we find out exactly what's been going on in here. And he pushes the door open against her. And he walks in. You may join her if you like.
Yeah.
Before I walk in, I'm just gonna say, Jeremy, care to be the doorman for a bit?
Might as well.
Hey, you know you didn't kill her, so you have no reason to not be in front of her now.
Fair enough.
So her stuff is all around here. Like, with her notes and stuff. Her bag and stuff. Liz stuff is here. Alan is over here. He seems to be, picking around at his guitar. Just trying to not get involved in your drama. Lithian approaches. She says, Hey, privacy. Privacy. She kind of backs off as she notices you're kind of, like, all aggressive. What's going on here? Is everything alright?
This is the one reads that we have at the moment. What did you talk about with Kira on the night of the murder?
We only talked briefly. We just talked about Skyria, that's all. She's clearly lying. But she's trying...
Especially because I can read her thoughts.
Yeah. She's mostly just picturing Kira, not, like, what they were talking about. It seems like, since you straight up brought up Kira, she's now realized you're probably doing something in her head, so she's trying very hard to keep her thoughts, as vague as possible.
Alright, she can make a wisdom saving throw then.
Okay. I fucked up her wisdom. Her wisdom's not set up. Okay. So, where is it? If it succeeds, the spell ends. She succeeded.
Shit.
Yeah. So, you tried to press further, and she felt it, and you feel her just push you out of her head. And she's glaring at you, and once again, her sigil Like, her symbol on her wrist is starting to flare out. She says, you have no reason to suspect what I'm doing here. I spoke with her briefly. We were talking about Skyria and its culture, and then she left, and then the shot happened. That's all I have to say. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
But the talk of Skyria happened to be an assassination?
I didn't know what she was planning, if that's what you're insinuating. She's like, as you're all talking to her, she's backing
Who said
towards your
anything
desk.
about... Who said
I'm
anything
gonna
about
rush
planning
over
it?
to her desk.
Make me a
Grab
dexterity
something.
saving throw.
Dex. Save.
I didn't set up her shit. Don't worry, it's not gonna be a hard one. Yeah, no, you're good, because she rolled a natural 1. Yeah, you duck past her as she very clumsily tries to catch you as she notices you're running, but she basically trips on her own foot and falls. So, with her notes, which are just as they were, the Psyom, and her notebook is mostly untouched, for that, except it's on a different page, which is on, like, earlier stuff on alchemy, and under the desk is her baggage full of her alchemy stuff, because she is an artificer, first and foremost.
Do I recognize the handwriting?
No. Neither handwriting.
Damn
You
it.
probably go through her whole book, and her 2 sets of handwriting are unrecognizable to you. But even if it were, like, Yuriko could have told you it's just her handwriting, and it doesn't match any of that. But, I will give you this if you roll me investigation.
I was going to anyway.
Yeah. With a 16, yeah, you notice her alchemy stuff is mostly full, all her, like, vials and stuff, except for 2 specific ones that have been used at least partially.
I'm gonna pull them out. Care to explain this?
I'm an alchemist, of course my things aren't going to... I brought it with me on the trip. What's the problem with that?
Everything else has been untouched, but these 2.
I was doing a bit of experimenting. You don't know when I was doing that.
Insight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can roll me insight.
They were very clear about the things that we could and could not bring.
Holy shit. Yeah, with a 25, you can tell she's extremely nervous when you ask about those 2 things. In conjunction with what you've been asking, she is not pleased with this question.
I'm going to say again, what did you do with these 2?
Roll me intimidation.
I would like to step behind Asmodai.
I'm
Asmodee's on the
Right.
other side of the room.
Not Asmodai, step aside to the
Oh, Emmy?
person. Yeah.
Okay.
Sort of addition to the intimidation, advantage.
Intimidation plus advantage then, Asmo. Yeah, she tries to back up and she hits you, Jeremy, and she immediately, like, tenses a ton. You can, like, feel it. 'Cause, her muscles don't really have to, well, they move, but you know what I mean. It's weird to
And
feel
Jeremy
her tense.
just crosses his arms.
It isn't anything bad. It just changes the aesthetic of a given object. It just changes what something looks like, what I used with those 2 items.
And what would she want to change, I wonder?
Oh, it's a shame you can't say anything to them, huh?
Yeah.
Asmodai, it's gonna say change the looks of something like a gun.
Roll me insight. Yeah, as soon as you say that, you see her undead pupils, like, get very small. You've hit that nail on the head. But she doesn't say anything. I feel bad. This started as Yuriko's thing, and she did good, but then I rolled really good. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's fine. We gotta
We're
let
getting
Asma
it
have the
done.
spotlight too.
Yeah, you see her kind of get very nervous when you say that about the gun.
Telling response, I'd say.
Is it possible that Kira wanted to frame Malcolm for her own murder?
And Lith pops in. She says, "Hey, you didn't do anything about this, did you?" She says, "I had nothing. She just came in and asked me to change the trim of the... I didn't do anything."
Well, I wouldn't say you didn't do anything.
Her, symbol is getting real bad, and you hear the mask say, "I would duck out of the way before she fires that thing."
Boop, boop, boop.
Or maybe back off her before she feels the need to. Unless, Jeremy, you want to, physically stop her, because it comes out of her.
Yeah.
Grapple check.
I mean,
Jeremy's gonna
uh,
stop him because, let's face it, he knows he could take the blast.
Yeah, take a roll grapple, which is strength check. I'll do the strength saving throw, and I'll tell you this, you're probably going to succeed, because her rolls... Because she's so... Yeah, you're good. As soon as you see her about to fire at him, you grab her hand, and it fires through, basically, the ceiling.
Now, what were you trying to do, I wonder?
can I say another metagame nitpick?
Yeah, sure.
When when a hostile creature within 5 feet, when a hostile creature is within 5 feet of you and they are not incapacitated, you have disadvantage on ranged attack rolls. So essentially, if she were to try to fire, she would have disadvantage on attacking anyone.
Right.
So she was essentially fucked either way.
Yeah, but and also I agree with this, but also she's mostly just trying to get you to fucking stop.
Yep, it's a warning shot.
Mm-hmm.
Eldritch warning shot.
I've also got evasion. It's fine.
Yeah.
Although I think that's for AoEs only, but whatever.
But yeah, she doesn't look very pleased, and Lith says, "Can we all please try to take a moment just to fucking relax?" And she does curse, which is out of character for her mostly. I don't think anyone here did anything truly... I don't think my sister is someone who would try to do something to hurt another person if she thought it was actually going to be hurtful. I think... why did you do it, if I might ask ya? She's not able to, but she wants to get her arm out of your grip, Jeremy. She's pulling at it. And she says, "I didn't want her to. She started pointing that flintlock at her, and what was I supposed to do? Not just let her shoot my sister? I don't know what she was planning to do. She told me to change what it looked like. I changed what it looked like, and she left. I don't..." Yeah.
So you were threatened.
She was threatened! And she points with her free hand at Lithian.
Yes, she threatened you to shoot. That if you did not comply, she would shoot your sister.
I wouldn't have done this otherwise!
And I'm assuming you did something to make it so that she doesn't remember that, because I feel like that'd be something someone would remember.
I didn't do anything to my sister! And Lith pipes in, she says, "In honest trancing, I don't I suppose a non-elf wouldn't understand truly. I don't really have full, senses when I'm entranced. I didn't know
It's like being asleep, if I recall.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I didn't know what they were talking about. I just saw a blurry figure talking to who I thought was my sister. But I couldn't tell you what they were talking about or what they were doing. Of course I don't remember that.
Alright. But regardless, it did kind of help out. Was it just Kira?
Yes, it
Or
was
there
just...
someone else?
Kira came in, I changed what the pistol looked like, she left, the shot went off, and I didn't let anyone leave the room. Are you happy?
Well, if you just said that to begin with, that would have been great.
Yeah, she is not... This is a... But yeah, that is the full story of what's happened.
So Kira killed herself?
One more thing I have to ask, just to be sure. And I go over to Alan. I don't think that he did it or anything, but I'm gonna ask for a handwriting sample from him. We
Yeah,
already know these two's involvement. We already know Eve's involvement.
Yeah, he'll give it to you, no problem.
Yeah, and it doesn't match any of our notes, right?
Nope.
Cool.
She finally, I think after all this is said and done, she gets her hand pulled out from Jeremy and backs away from him. And she goes over to her alchemy set and pulls it up and puts it on the desk and says, all she wanted was for me to change the trim of that gun to stop looking gold and look pearl instead. That's all.
How long is this trim going to last like that?
It'll stay like that unless I change it back. That's just how... It's just a golden trim. Other than that, it's the exact same. I didn't change anything else about it.
Golden trim, alright.
That is all. We have one more read to follow up on.
You're gonna have to do that next time, 'cause it's been 2 hours.
Okay.
Oh man.
I know, I'm having fun too, but if I keep going, we're never gonna stop, and I do want... the door, and Emmy, but I will say, this ends with Lith coming, like, the 4 of you leave, and Lith is at the door, and she says, I don't really... Never mind. And the door just closes. And with that, ending scene. So yeah. Next stream will be next week. I'm fucking antsy. I want it to be next week already. But I'll see y'all.
Let's have next session right now.
Let's start now. Let's go. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Bye.
Bye.